So I thought I asked my good friend Izzy Isaiah Cartwright to come up and actually help me doing this presentation because he is an actual game designer, so he actually knows what he's talking about. A good hand for Izzy Cartwright. So,
how's everyone doing?
How you feeling, Izzy?
Pretty good. A lot of people here.
It's brilliant. So, if I say he's about here to help me with the demo, that means I will basically not talk at all most of the time and let Izzy do the job. So I would say it makes it easier for the drivers as well because they understand what we are talking about. So roll the demo, guys. Okay, Izzy, let's go. Tell us what we're seeing.
All right, we're starting off here with a Charr axe warrior. He's wielding 2 axes. And so one of the big things about Guild Wars 2 that's very different is your skills are based on the weapons that you're holding. And so what we see here is the 2 axes allow the warrior to be a very high damage character. One of the cool skills that you just saw there was Whirling Axe. It allows you to move in kind of a straight line and do a lot of AoE damage while you're swirling. The special profession ability that the warrior has is called Adrenaline, and he builds it up while he's beating on things. And that allowed him to use a special skill called Eviscerate right there. Whenever a warrior switches weapons to whatever he has, either a bow or a mace or a shield, it completely changes out his skills. So as we just saw, he swapped out to a mace and a shield, and this makes him a little bit more durable. Shield gives him some armor, and the mace gives him some stun and some more protection. And this allows you to dynamically switch out your skills on the fly while you're playing. This kind of allows you to create your own combos between the weapons so that you can do all sorts of interesting combinations.
I think what we're seeing here is I think Leah is aiming for one of the environmental weapons, even if they're all occupied. So can you tell us a little bit about the environmental weapons that we were seeing there, like the turrets and the mortars, and what we do with environmental weapons in the game?
So not only does your weapons be determined, or the skills be determined by the weapons you're holding, but your skills are determined by anything you're holding, whether that be a mortar or a rock or a stick or anything that you pick up or find in the world. We change out the skills that you're holding all the time on the fly, and this allows us to make a very interactive, interesting world that you can find and use everything around you. And so in this particular battle, he's using a mortar, and he's going to be able to fight anything around him and blow away the minions that's attacking his friends or attack the dragon itself. And this allows you to find things, rocks and sticks and boards and poles and anything that you can out in the environment and use it as fun environmental weapons. Or you can use siege weapons to fight your enemies. And this allows us to change the skills out on the fly and make fun, interesting choices in battle.
Yeah, because you mentioned the dragon. I mean, look at that dude, right? He's massive. It's like that's what we consider to be a proper boss monster, a proper big monster. It's not like we don't hide it in an instance or in a dungeon somewhere. It's like right in our world, so you can come across it. And just to give you something, this is a dragon lieutenant. It's not even one of the elder dragons. The elder dragons are way bigger than this one.
Some of the more interesting thing about our big, huge boss fights that we have out in the world is they're not just on timers like a lot of other MMOs do. Ours can be at the end of big event chains that were triggered by things that players did or just natural things that are happening in the map. And so they can naturally occur just as the map's going through a series of events or things that are happening. This particular one that we see in Brand is one that is happening on a timer that we've sped up for the demo. But there's lots and lots of different huge boss encounters that happen at all sorts of different intervals, so you can just be moving around the map and all of a sudden some big, huge, exciting encounter happens.
One thing you see, there's a whole lot of players all working together to attack this dragon. It's one of the things that we want to do. We want to encourage and actually reward players by playing with each other and not like in other MMOs. Sometimes you go somewhere, you see another player, and your first thought is not like, hey, it's awesome to group up and meet with this person. No, your first thought is like, oh shit, he's stealing my opponents, I have to go somewhere else, he's slowing down my progress. Our event system is designed in a way that we encourage people, even if they're not in a group, to play together and work towards a common goal. If you participate in an event, and by participating I mean you really take part in it, not just like plinking an opponent once and then sitting there and let the other guys finish the job, because that will not work. If you participate in an opponent, all players are working together to a common goal.
Yeah, this is one of our overarching goals in Guild Wars 2, that no matter what you do, no matter where you are, you're always happy to see other players. And we try to extend that from our combat systems to our reward mechanisms to the way that we present content via events. We want to make it so that you're not upset when someone else comes along and starts killing mobs next to you. We don't want you to be upset that they're taking things from you, but more happy that you're now working together to defeat the enemy.
What we've seen here is he already talked about weapon swapping and how it gives you all kinds of tactical possibilities. What we did now, because we weren't like in active combat, we switched out one of our 2 weapon sets that we can switch within combat, and we switched now to a ranged set, which allows us to finish off opponents from a distance, or to try to pull them to us. By the way, those nice cyclone you see is actually a player. It's an elementalist skill that transforms him into a cyclone. So yeah, by switching weapons outside of combat, you even get even more versatility.
Yeah, one of the strengths of the warrior is that he's kind of an arms master. He can use a large array of different weapons, given access to a very large number of combinations and things that he can do. And another thing that you got to see very at the tail end there is the warrior and the elementalist have a cross-profession combo. He can shoot projectiles through the firewall, or he can do kind of a whirling axe combo through the firewall. All these kind of things that are different things that we do to make an interactive and interesting system of combat.
Yeah, we actually see this here. This is the cross-profession combo that Izzy was talking about. The elementalist put down the firewall, the warrior kicked in with whirling axe, and while whirling through the firewall, he basically shoots